Hello, Epic 7. You came here to see my favorite team, so here it is. It's the same team as I ran in one of my former videos, but I re-geared them. I re-geared them in a way that I didn't have to steal gear from everybody else. I hope I made it a little bit more relatable. I didn't use any rage sets. Let me jump in and we'll go into the details of each unit. First unit is Mascot Hazel. This is pretty much the same Mascot Hazel I featured in prior videos. I'm running her relatively slow, and I've got her on Prophetic Candlestick to cycle her skills. I built her tanky so that she could take hits. I made sure her S2 and her S3 were maxed out for maximum healing. I do have 200 effect resistance on her in case I want to put her in the front line in the future, and because I also use her in Nightmare Raid content, but she most certainly does not need it for this. You do want to finish her skill tree to the points where you get the bonus damage for Fire Elemental heroes, and you get the bonus effectiveness for Fire Elemental heroes. That helps lower the gear requirements on effectiveness for other units and helps you do more damage. Again, sorry for the misinformation in the prior video. You do not need 200% ER unless you are the frontline unit. The skill increase only affects the frontline unit. Next on the list is Haste. Haste feels almost like a requirement for this. If you don't have him, you'll probably need to wait for Kane. Kane will probably be able to replace Haste. I just built him up with 60% effectiveness. The 60% effectiveness plus the 35 I get from Alabastron plus the 10 I get from Hazel's passive gives me 106%. So I'm overcapped on effectiveness. Build him a little bit tanky. I think you want to be around 12k health or he just dies too easily. I put him on a lifesteal set. The lifesteal set keeps him alive. It saved me a couple of times and I had it laying around so I didn't have to ungear anybody to build this. I'm clearing in 3 runs. I think if I maxed out these skills, I'll be clearing in 2 runs within a couple of levels, which will be nice. I'd love to be able to clear in 2 runs by level 8. I've only got about 20% more damage to increase, so a few more levels and moling those skills and I might be there, but I don't want to dedicate the mole yet until I see what Kane looks like. I've got him on his number 3 EE for extended debuffs. You could also consider his number 1 EE for defense breaks. Fire Surin is also wearing a new set. I gave her some more leftover lifesteal gear. She is at 98% crit chance, but once I level this weapon, she'll be at 100% crit chance. I gave her a little bit of damage because every little bit helps. She is at 101 effectiveness plus the 10 from Hazel. That puts her at 111, so she is 6 effectiveness overcapped. Again, she is slow. You want her to be slower than Haste. Now, Haste looks slower, but with the 14 speed imprint from her, Haste will go first and get the defense break off, and then she'll follow up and stack the bleeds and lock the boss's ability to get more arcs down. I went ahead and maxed out her number 2 and number 3 skills just for damage. You don't have to do that. I think the skill cooldown is the only one required, and I gave her the Torn Sleeve artifact. If you have another Alabastron, that would also work. If you don't have either, consider Dust Devil or RNL. Next is Roy Mustang, also sporting a lifesteal set. I believe this is the same Roy I ran in prior videos, except the gear may be downgraded just a hair. He is missing 1% crit chance. Once I level that, armor will be there, and gave him as much damage as possible and put the Chatty artifact on him. I think Chatty is kind of required. If you don't have Roy or Chatty, I recommend running Fire Ken in this position, and he should be able to tank it fine for you and dish out damage. Fire Ken might even be better when we hit level 8 and get that Warrior Frontlines get extra crit damage relic. We'll have to see. Don't forget your Rift Pet, and we jump right in and press auto. One of the things that lets this fight rack up so much damage is the defense break from Haste right at the start, so make sure he is one of the first units to go. If I slowed Roy down a little bit, I might have gotten a little bit more damage out of him. Haste will probably lose his job to Kane, or perhaps Surin will lose her job to Kane. I don't know, this is an evolving event. We're still fishing around trying to find the best pops, but this one is pretty reliable. As you can see, with only 10 turns down, I've already cleared the first health bar entirely. This team usually takes 40% of the boss's health bar down. Usually end at the 60% mark, and then turn 2, I end at the 20% mark, and then I finish it on turn 3 very easily. With 20% left on turn 3, that means I've got to increase my damage output by about 20%. So 5 more levels from now, I get 20% more damage. Also, by then, hopefully I've got those last pieces 90'd. We've also got Kane coming out, and at very least, I'll dump some Mola into Haste and make him hit harder, and I think this will be able to clear in 2 turns by level 8. That's my goal. We'll have to see how that goes. I'll let the rest of this fight play out, so you can see how it completes towards the end.
I will destroy everything.
The hell scythe will slice you in two.
Please hurry. It's urgent. On my way.
So boring.
Oh, come on! Yeah! Just as planned. I don't know.
This is what you get for playing with me.
Please hurry.
And there we are,
It's urgent.
40% damage in one run. That takes the bar down to 60%. The second round I was slightly less, only 37% damage in one run, got us down to 23%, but made for an easy clear on the final phase. And there you go. Full clear in 3 runs, pretty consistently, and I'm not using my best gear. Hopefully this gives you some ideas on how to clear this. It shows you a consistent team and makes Rift a little bit easier for you to farm. Remember, I fell short by about 23%, so every level we go up, we get 4% more damage dealt, plus those level 8 skills. I think by the time I get to level 8, I should have enough damage on the board to clear this in 2 runs. That's the goal. Maybe I'll make a video about it then. With Kane coming out, that could add a whole new factor to it. It's still early in this. We're going to have to wait and see, guys. I hope this team helps you out. If you don't have some of these units, check the video linked in the description. It shows 5 different team options to get your Rift needs taken care of. And if you can't quite do this, don't sweat it. It's nice, the rewards are okay, but it's not earth-shattering. You're not falling behind by not farming this. Just stick to hunts. This is endgame PvE. This is something to build towards and eventually add to your repertoire once everything else becomes stale. By no means should you feel left behind by not farming this content. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section, and as always, like and subscribe. Have a good one, everybody.